This one's going to get a little bit personal. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is the 2024 goals video. What am I wanting to achieve in the year of 2024? This is going to be split into 3 separate sections: writing, the channel/community, and also personal. And when I'm saying personal, I do mean this is going to get quite personal, so I will put timestamps down below so that you can go ahead and skip any sections that you may not be interested in. Before we jump into the video today, make sure you check the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord should you want to come along for the ride. Now, when it comes to making goals, I am a list maker. I think you all know that by now if you've been hanging around for a while. It's the Virgo in me. I enjoy lists, I enjoy ticking things off lists, but when it comes to making these big goals for years, I don't like to put too much pressure on myself or too much pressure on people around me to help me fulfill any of these goals should they involve more than just myself. What I tend to like to do, and is something I've done for a while, is to give a year a theme. I haven't done this here on the channel yet. It is something I've just done personally, but I like the idea of having a theme that you work towards. For me, my 2024 theme is healing. There's a lot of things that I need to work through, and we'll get to that in the personal section, and I will sort of give you a little bit of a warning before we go into that because it will get quite deep, for me anyway. Before we jump into that, what we're going to do is have a look at my writing goals for the year first, and then the channel/community goals that I have here, because they are separate but sort of in the same vicinity. Quickly, my writing goals is to have my books 1 and book 2 in a new adult sci-fi contemporary trilogy to the point where they're ready to go to a developmental editor. I would like to have the drafting done for both of these books before they go, because I really am unsure at this point whether it would work better as a duology or a trilogy. So if I have books 1 and 2 ready to go to a dev editor, they are able to sort of have a look at the work, have some guidance on the development of the story, and tell me whether I need to make the books bigger but only have 2, or keep them the same size but then again finish it in the 3rd book. So the aim there is to have 2 of these done. They're going to sit around the 70 to 75,000 word mark. I don't want them to be super big tomes. It's not my strength, but I do want to have 2 of these ready to go. So where the current state is, book 1 of this is currently sitting at 37,000 words or thereabout. The aim for the end of December is to have this at 38,000 words. I think we'll sit around 40,000 words by the end of the month. It is on track for me to finish this draft by April. What I'll then do is do one run through of that draft, add in the scenes that I've got in my notes and make sure that it all sort of flows. And then I will start to work simultaneously on editing book 1 and writing book 2 with keeping up with the word goals that I currently have. Book 2 has got just a rough plotting in my brain. I've written down where I want it to start and where I want it to end, and they will run pretty consecutively within the series. So book 1, the ending of book 1 is definitely going to be sort of where the start of book 2 happens. The aim is to have, like I said, both of these ready for a dev editor, if not with a developmental editor, by the end of next year, and then releasing in 2025 in a fairly short succession. So if I look at releasing one in the middle of the year, there'll be another release towards the end of the year in 2025, whilst I work on book 3 and also the start of a new series. So the idea for me is to sort of have 2 books out every 2 years and still work on 2 items at each time and sort of try and keep momentum building that way. The stretch goal for me next year is to start plotting the first book of a new sort of palette cleanser fantasy series, which I'm really excited about, but we'll see if we get that far. Let's move on to the channel and the community. Now, for me, I'm never going to be one of those channels that goes, I want X amount of subscribers. I don't have a sub count goal. If people want to be here, they will be here. And I think right now we've got a pretty bloody good group going on, and I enjoy interacting with you. I love any of the comments that come through and just getting to know the small audience that I have a little bit more. I love the indie community, and that doesn't necessarily do fantastically on the algorithm, but that's fine. That is what my focus is going to be on the channel forevermore. So what do I want to do next year on the channel? I would like to have more author chats with indie writers. I would like to have more panels of things like I did with the Aussie author panel. I'd like to do a couple more of them. There's a lot of Aussie authors out here, people who write within a similar genre. I would like to bring more sort of like editors and artists and people in the community, whether that be booktubers or narrators, people that have done things within the industry that aren't necessarily authors, and bring them into the fold and start hosting those sorts of interviews as well. I would also like to create a more open space for members of our community that may not have a booktube channel but want to get involved in some of these, whether you're on Bookstagram or BookTok, or if you're just on Twitter and that's where you get all your bookish information, you want to be involved in one of these, please feel free to reach out to me. Let's see if we can work together and come up with something that you can just sort of have a bit of an experiment on a channel and just have a chat. It doesn't need to be super formal. I want the Queer Corner to continue. I've loved doing that segment. It hasn't happened as often as I'd like in 2023, but it has happened. So making that more of a consistent thing that goes on throughout the year, opening the floor to more LGBTQIA plus community members, and just having chats about some of the queer reads that we have. I'd like to bring back reading sprints to the main channel, maybe once a fortnight, alternating between an AM and a PM. My shift at work next year is very likely to change from Monday to Friday to Tuesday to Saturday, which means that it will work a little bit better for me in terms of getting US content creators on and having that bit of time where I can talk to them on their Sundays rather than having to go back to work. But I would like to bring some form of public reading sprint back once a fortnight, and not being scared just to do random sprints. So there are times in my life where I go, you know what, I could just jump on the internet, start reading. I don't need to announce it. I can just go and do it and see who turns up. But I haven't. So I would like to be less scared of doing that and just doing it because I want to do it. I would like to invite others to come and hang out for no reason other than to have a reading sprint, like people that I know on BookTube or Bookstagram, whatever, like, hey, do you want to come on and just read on a camera? So that would be great. Also being less scared about reaching out to booktubers, that's another thing. And the next one is a big one for me because I'm such a stickler for plans and for routine, but letting myself go off script / plans rather than having to stick to a schedule and then feeling guilt if I can't get to those things. So there have been some weeks where I've been sick. I had COVID. I couldn't get 2 videos out that week. There were weeks where my brain was just mentally not here. I could only get 1 video out that week. Try not to beat myself up too much about that happening. And if I don't get the videos that I plan to get out on any week and they need to get pushed, just being like, just go with the flow, dude. It's fine. The audience will watch what you put out if they want to watch it, and they won't watch what they don't want to watch, and that's fine. And just letting that little brain tick go for the year would be very healing and in line with the theme. The next thing is something that I've seen a little bit recently, is that I don't want to accept any new review copy requests. So to the authors out there, thank you so much for these review requests. I'm honored every time you reach out to me and you want me to read your books. I am currently booked out for a little while, so I will not be accepting new review copy requests of established books until I've gotten through my backlog. I might put my hand up for an ARC if I'm super excited about it. I have a couple of ARC requests going out for next year, and also beta reads and alpha reads and things like that tend to make priorities for me. But in terms of established review copies, I will be taking a little bit of a pause, probably for Q1, just to get through the review copies I have. January at the moment is a huge review month for me because I will be on the road and I need quick reads, and a lot of those review reads do happen to be about 350 pages that I can churn through and get those reviews out. I will have information when the review requests open again in the description box down below. When you send review requests, I am always honest about it, or I try to be as honest and transparent as I can be, just letting you know what my limitations are and when I can potentially slot that book in, just so you're aware of timelines. Now let's talk about community. I have a Discord. It doesn't get used a lot because, quite frankly, Discord overwhelms the shit out of me. But I do want to get better, starting with my own Discord and then eventually going into other Discords where I want to become more active. I have a Discord exclusive writers group. You don't need to be published in any capacity. Are you writing? Do you want to talk about it? This is a locked group within my Discord where you can come and do that. Just let me know, click the link down below, and I'll put you into that list. I'd love to do more in this space. Things like monthly writing sprints on the Discord where we come and talk together, we hang out on camera, we spend a few hours where we're sprinting and we're chatting, and we just sort of have a bit of a back and forth and a brainstorm. So I am looking at dedicating 1 day per month where I will be doing that for a couple of hours, and I'll put the notifications and the dates in that Discord so you can see if you can make it. I'm going to start streaming on Discord. I love indie pixel art games. I love them. I'm not a huge gamer for the big open world RPGs. I like watching people play it, but I won't do it myself. I love pixel art games. They are cozy, they're casual, and I'm thinking that I'm going to start streaming these occasionally on camera, on the Discord, not on any other channel or anything like that. I'm not looking to start a Twitch, although ironically my wife and her best friend are, and occasionally I'll be on it. But I'm looking for just hanging out where I can chat to you, you can chat to me, and I'll be playing something cute in the background. So I'll be doing that as well. There'll be Discord exclusive buddy reads. So I've mentioned a couple in a previous video. I think it's come out already, but Dragon Riders of Pern, the first 3 books, happening Jan to March, and also Dante's Inferno. Sorry, no, the Divine Comedy, or Dante's Inferno by Dante, will be happening in April through to June. And the last thing here is I am looking at starting a podcast with a very good friend of mine over in Perth, and this will be all about storytelling in all of its forms. I am not sure what this looks like yet. This is very much in a brainstorming phase at the moment, but it is with a dear friend of mine who's wanted to do one for ages. I am not real good at hosting things like podcasts. I can do an interview okay, but I'm happy to just talk about books and storytelling in all of its various forms. This will not be limited to books. This will be things like television, media, even things like TikTok and how that's changed, gaming, the importance of storytelling in gaming and how people consume those type of storytelling, and we'll be inviting people on to the podcast as well. So that's going to be a bit of fun. I'm not sure when it's going to start, but that is in the pipeline. Now we arrive at the personal stuff. So if you don't want to know anything sort of super deep and personal, I completely understand that. I respect that. Click away now. I'll catch you in the next video. I'm going to go into some of the things that I want to do for myself in honor of the theme of healing in 2024. And like I said, very open and honest here on the channel, so I'm going to bring you along on the journey with me. So if you see that maybe I don't post a video 1 week, it could be because some of this other stuff is happening, because it's going to be quite an emotional year. 2023 was a year full of PTSD for me, and it was full of fighting some old bad habits and coming to rely too much on my spouse for my emotional well-being, which isn't necessarily fair. And I'm sure you've heard me say it, I don't do emotions, and that's a learnt behavior. So that is a learnt behavior. It's part of my survival toolkit from the last 32 years. And I would like to change that. I would like to be more emotionally available, to be a better partner, and to be a better human to the people around me. So this year, one of my big goals is to start going to Al-Anon. Now, if you don't know what Al-Anon is, it is a safe space for family members of addicts. So a lot of the time it is alcohol, but it's not necessarily restricted to alcohol. I hold a lot of resentment and a lot of anger for people who should have protected me when I was a kid from some of those things, and I've never seriously thought that this was a path that I would go down, but I now think that I'm in an adult space to try and let go of some of that anger and let go of some of that resentment and just learn to be okay and to learn to move on with my life and to stop hanging on to the past and bringing up the past. I'm also looking at starting a holistic therapy, such as energy healing. I know to a lot of people that's going to sound like hippie-do, but a lot of you don't know that I am quite spiritual, more so than religious. And I feel like there's a lot of things that have happened in my life that has caused some form of energy block. And that is why I don't feel emotions. I know I tend to feel emotions and then put them in a box because I don't want to deal with them. And I would like to not do that anymore. I am so open with my life now as a defense mechanism, and I know that. I'm open, I'm self-deprecating. If you know it, you can't hurt me with that information. So this is something I'm looking to give a go. I've done traditional therapies before and they've worked for a time, but this stuff sort of starts coming back up. So I'm going to try and do something a little bit more in a spiritual sense and see if that can help. The next thing is to build a healthier relationship with the word no. Personally, I make things work, whether it's my hobbies, my family, if it fits into a schedule, it has to happen. It's not the healthiest way to live, trust me. I don't say no. I go and I go and I go until I hit resentment and I stew. And I have been a little bit better at this in the last few months, but it is going to take a lot of work and a lot of unpacking. And just to end on a more professional and happier note, my business that we are opening together, so Rachel is a copy editor and a proofreader. I have got a marketing background, and we're looking at opening a business tailored to indie authors that combine these things. This business now has a name. It is called Bard and Butter, and we'll be officially launching the website hopefully towards the end of Q1 2023, roughly a year after we thought we would. But Rachel and I really wanted to make sure that she had her degree, her master's, and her thesis all completed before that website launched. This is important to us because the website will have an accreditation attached to it, and this degree has been quite the time for her, unfortunately. It's been a lot of emotional ups and downs, a lot of supervisors changing hands, and uncertainty. And we're now at the point where this thesis is about to be submitted and go off for approval. We have had a handful of clients over the last year, and we're so very thankful for those people who have taken a shot, given us a chance in some of the testimonials that you'll see when it comes out. But Bard and Butter is officially going to be a thing next year, and we look forward to opening up the floor and working with more of you. When the business launches, we will have a video together on this channel where we'll talk about some of the services that we're initially offering, and then it will not be something that we talk about here on this channel because it's not a tool for us to spruik our business. So that is what I've got for you. There are my goals for 2024. What are some of your goals? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you like the content? If you do, give one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I will catch you in the next video. Ciao.